Good evening and welcome to the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena for the ACC Semifinals. The number 2 University of Virginia Cavaliers taking on the number 3 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. I'm Sterling Caligeris here alongside Alex Wiederspiel. Thank you so much for joining us on this coverage at AAU+. Georgia Tech with a 3-1 victory yesterday in the quarterfinals against Georgetown. Meanwhile, for the Cavaliers, it was a dominant 8-0 performance against Charlotte. We'll talk a little more about both of these teams as we progress, but before the opening puck drop, starting goaltenders here tonight. Ryan Graff for Georgia Tech, 25 games played, .356 GAA, .898 save percentage. And for the Cavaliers, Billy Bass with an .857, .333. Puck has been dropped at center ice, and we are underway for the second ACC quarterfinal. Georgia Tech in the navy moving right to left across your screen, and Virginia in the white moving left to right.
Maybe the best jersey battle we've had so far. This is great.
Is so nice. Oh my goodness. These Georgia Tech navies are amazing. Virginia, hard not to like these. What a matchup here in the fashion department. We'll get started here in Virginia's own defensive zone as the Cavaliers look to break the play out from their own far circle. Georgia Tech applying the pressure. It'll pop free to the defenseman Joshua Lee, sliding it across towards the alternate captain McLean Boyd. Up ahead for Goodell and now Keshner, winning this back for Virginia's Joshua Stoner, and putting it back in deep the other way, A.J. Degliumberto, who scored the game-winning goal for Tech yesterday. Cruising down the right wing, a blocker save made on Marcus Kim by Ryan Graff, and Lee is off to the races the other way. 3-on-2 developing, he'll drop it off to Howe. Sawyer Howe gets poked in the far circle, and it's Hunter Carlson the other way. Carlson gains entry, looking for the feed in front, was trying to hit up Haberl, and some pressure in that far corner. One back for Tech by Lee. He'll bank it off the end wall towards Levi Miller. Jack Golick digging there as well. It pops free to Alexander McMillan with the shot. The rebound available, collecting this one and throwing it in front as they try to bank it off Graff and in. Shot from the line sailed high and wide. Pinching in is Davis Jones. He'll slide it across to the winger there. At the right point here, it's McMillan. Back in deep with Peter Kaplan on goal, and Graff a stop there.
Tremendously long shift here in the offensive zone, and a lot of it thanks to that play from McMillan. He was excellent yesterday for UVA in their 8-0 win over Charlotte.
Alex McMillan with 2 assists in that game yesterday, so key piece of the Cavaliers squad against Charlotte. Virginia continuing the offense here with him in deep, but back the other way for Ethan Molnar, the star of the show yesterday for GT, with the opening goal for the Jackets and an assist on the dagger 3-1 finish. Steckel shot goes wide of Bass. The rebound for Agarwal as he looks to put it back on Bass. Cavaliers flip it out the other way. Too far for King. And look at the speed of Aiden Chong. Chong looking to center. They score! Dylan as a party, the backdoor finish, and just 3 minutes in, the Cavaliers strike first.
Man, UVA was really good yesterday in their win over Charlotte, and little feeling out process early on here, but off the rush, it's a brilliant play there from Chong. You can see, able to get that one through, and a soft little touch right in front of the net. Virginia has the early lead.
It's listed as their second shot on goal, but of course, nothing really Ryan Graff can do there with the little 2-on-0 situation. Absolutely no mistake for Azzopardi, who had 2 points in the game yesterday, a goal and an assist for himself. Came into these playoffs, or to today's game, with 8 points in 9 games played. So Virginia looking to continue here with Adam Trubish, putting it in deep towards McLean Boyd. Puck pops off his stick. He'll flip it off the glass. Trying to hold the line was Brady Holbrook. as he'll spin it back into the offensive zone. Ryan Graff going to leave it to his man, Andrew Zhang, who looks to lead the rush for GT. He'll slide it across to Boyd, up ahead to Connolly. Sean Connolly in deep as Matt Shane and he look for a line change here. Zach Keschner applying the pressure for Tech. It's Goodell putting it on goal, and Bass will steer it aside. Rimmed around the wall a bit too far for Andrew Handelman. This will go down as an icing.
So that early goal for UVA, big one there, and also getting action from their bottom six as well, which is critical here. You're looking for depth scoring in a game like this. So quick shot on there, by the way, and UVA, tremendous performance yesterday, and two players run into each other. This is a little bit different of a caliber of opponent for the Cavaliers, and worth noting, Georgia Tech struggled the last couple of seasons, but I feel like in a lot of respects, yesterday's 3-1 win, a sign that they are ready to get back into serious contention at this level.
Yeah, it's their first season in the ACC in quite some time. They were a bit unsure what to expect going into the ACC Fall Classic back in November, but dominant couple of performances there against Princeton, George Washington. They fell just short in the shootout against Charlotte in game number 3, but picking up points in all 3 games. A nice start here in the ACC playoffs yesterday. They find themselves down to the number 2 Cavaliers, but looking to make something happen here. Virginia instead looking to extend their lead. They'll push it the other way in the vicinity of Marcus Kim. A bit too far for him, and it's Joshua Lee. Some pressure from Kim will win it back. He'll drop it off with Zave Green. Green around the end wall. Picking it up is McMillan. McMillan slides it to the line. It's Marcus Kim. Across it goes. A deflection in front. Just wide on the glove side. As Degliamberto, little turnover. They'll play it down low. But in possession of Keegan Goodell, and he'll get the clear.
That's Virginia's top line. No surprise that they're able to put some pressure on down low. And that good forecheck leads to a turnover and a little opportunity there for the Cavs.
Turned over the other way, and it's Dorcas through the center ice logo. He'll cruise with it down the near wing. Looking to chip it to Sawyer Howe. Instead, D to D, but right back with Dorcas. A centering feed weaving through the Yellow Jackets there. Number 9 will get as Max Lehman. And Ryan Graff just going to freeze this puck.
Lehman part of that second line for Virginia, along with Hunter Carlson and Adam Trubish. Had a strong performance yesterday. I keep saying that. I don't know that there was anybody who didn't have a strong performance. So far, pound for 60 minutes, that was the most dominant effort I had seen. And that included a 16-1 win for St. John's over Appalachian State. UVA just stifled that Charlotte team, completely sucked the life out of their game.
With just minutes left in the second period, I believe there were only 4 shots on goal against Virginia. Absolutely dominant defensive performance, stifling, as you just said. Now on the offense go the Cavaliers, as they'll put it in deep. Looking for a centering feed perhaps was Max Lehman, as he'll weave through. Send it in front, was looking for Trubish. Pinching in was Chris Amodio. A free puck available in that far corner. Looks like it's in the control of Dorcas, but he gets poked by Trubish. Sent to the line, walking and shooting, and a glove save made by Ryan Graff. That one on Connor Coe. Little bit of a post-whistle skirmish as the Jackets trying to protect their goaltender, but if anything, there might have been incidental contact. Nothing serious at all.
Well, we've seen it get chippy a few times here. I don't think really any game has gotten out of hand except for the St. John's App State game where, as mentioned a few times on the broadcast, 3 majors in that one, including a 5-on-3 simultaneous major. Have not seen anything quite like that occur.
No, that's absolutely crazy. And as we talked about on the last broadcast there, There have been a few 5-minute majors throughout these ACC playoffs, so a bit interesting in that regard.
I think they called it a little bit looser at last weekend's tournament. They've been a little tighter, the officiating this weekend.
So special teams playing a huge impact on these games. We'll see if that's the case here in this one, as there's a good shot from the top of the slot. Gaining control is Aiden Chong. Some pressure from the Jackets there. Coming away with it is Ethan Molnar, and in deep below the goal line. They'll work it to Miller, and connecting with Steckel. Holding the line, walking in Cristiano. Beautiful moves, and he sailed it high over the cage of Ryan Graff. Drops it for the one-timer, and that one in the chest of Graff, and he'll hold on.
Well, it all starts with a bad breakout by Georgia Tech. They're unable to get the puck out of the zone, and 2 chances come as a result of it for Virginia. And I felt like early on, first couple of minutes of this one, Georgia Tech was breaking it out a little bit more successfully. In the last few minutes, they've had some trouble getting from below the red line out of their own zone.
And that's absolutely something you can't be struggling with if you're Georgia Tech, as there's a shot from the high slot going high once more. Georgia Tech, at some points we've seen throughout the season, might be hemmed into their own zone, struggling to get the puck out. They've gotten better as the season has progressed, but Virginia with a ton of pressure. You see it on the shots on goal, 7-2 already, just about halfway through the first period. Looking to enter the zone here, Graham Haberl, as he'll weave through a backhand from a tight angle off the side of the goal. Joshua Lee here looking to break it out right wing here. It's Chambliss connecting with Connolly. Connolly will test Billy Bass. He'll steer it aside as Connolly look to win it back. Instead, it's McMillan. This will pass behind the intended target, and now Brady Holbrook. Holbrook right wing, looking to work around McLean Boyd. Has some pressure in that near corner. Matt Shane lays the body, and he'll collect the puck. Swings it across the sheet there. There's a delayed penalty coming up as the referee's arm in the air, a cross-checking call. We'll see exactly who they get it on. Looks like Joshua Lee heading to the box. A Virginia power play will be coming up. But before that, as we're under the 12-minute mark, a media timeout. Maybe, as it looks like the skaters still cruising their way to the offensive zone, so maybe not.
I was going to say the horn definitely blew for the media timeout, and I guess we're just doing this.
All right. Hey, I'm not going to complain about some more hockey here. Face off to the right of Ryan Graff. It's the first special team situation of the night. Virginia wins that face off. Cristiano at the right point looking for an option. He'll drop it down low to Jack Michaud. Slides it across here. It's back with Stoner. One-timer goes wide. The rebound in front. They couldn't get a powerful shot away. They'll put it back in front. Was looking to connect with Michaud. I don't think Graff saw that pass to the back door, and then Green's shot deflected out of play.
Well, a lot of that pressure all starts with that Cristiano shot, and you got to love the way the big man moves. He just seems to move so effortlessly, and he's able to track along that blue line. It's a real skill. Difficult to be able to do what he does out there.
Cristiano, one of those key pieces to yesterday's win with 1 goal and 2 assists, 8 points in 9 games played out of Reston, Virginia. To the near flank it goes. This one, Zave Green, cruising in, drops it off to Stoner. Stoner looking for an option. Top of the zone, Green, little give and go there, winding up a slap shot on a kick save made by Ryan Graff. Getting it back and going across to Green, dropping it back off to Stoner. A one-timer set up there towards Cristiano. He whiffed on it but stays with it. A clearing attempt prevented by Stoner. Stoner walks in. The seam pass connecting but shot wide. That one from Jack Michaud.
Boy, Michaud had some space there if he could have connected.
Some good looks for this Cavaliers power play with 48 seconds to go. They'll drop it to the goal line and backdoor. That one off the skate of Zave Green. Green on that near half wall. They'll try to dig it free. Ends up below the goal line. Tech looking for a much-needed clear. Virginia holds the zone again. Zave Green at the point. Looking. Top of the zone here. Little reverse play here, and it's Stoner cruising in. He'll send it down low the other way with McMillan. He'll work his way to the near wing, sets up a one-timer blocked in front from the bumper position. Now at the right point, that's McMillan walking the line here, still in control. McMillan at the circle. They'll get it across to a cruising Carlson. Fresh out of the box is Joshua Lee, but a great back check there by Alexander McMillan.
Boy, he's so much fun to watch. His skating ability is another highlight there as he takes a pretty big hit.
Already making a huge impact on this one. Jack Golick loading up a shot, went wide on the far side. Dorcas's chance rubbed out there from Graham Haberl. Far half wall, that's Dorcas looking to hit up Golick. Instead, moving with it the other way, Hunter Carlson connecting with Max Lehman. This one a bit behind Haberl there, as he'll look to flip it down the ice past Braden King and McLean Boyd, and so an icing called on the Cavaliers.
So, okay, the good for Georgia Tech and the bad are pretty close to similar. The bad is it's been a rough start. The breakouts haven't really been great. You're going to get an opportunity here. The good is you are only down by a goal. So if you can find a way to slow the bleeding without falling too far behind, you're going to have a chance in this one. Again, this is not Charlotte. Virginia is not going to be able to play with the same level that they played yesterday. They're going to have to amp it up if they want to have any chance at dominating the way they did yesterday. This is a better Tech squad.
It's kind of similar to what we saw in the last game with Elon taking on St. Joseph's, as now we might get our media timeout. But really quickly, in yesterday's Tech game, they went down 1-0 to Georgetown, were able to respond with 3 unanswered. With just a minute 15 in the timeout, we'll step aside and we'll see you for the second half of the first period.
On the flip side, you can always hit the beach. It's beach day every day in Jax. On the flip side, we're always cooking up something good. Sink your teeth into Jax.
Well, we are back. Thank you for joining us here this Saturday evening for the second semifinal of the ACC playoffs. Number 2, Virginia, up 1-0 on number 3, Georgia Tech. It has been a good start for the Cavaliers. They're out shooting the Jackets 8-3. Just had a power play of their own, their first of the game. Had a few good looks, not able to cash in, but some good positive momentum generated for their team. We've got a face-off in the Virginia defensive zone as we resume live action here. Draw coming to the left of the netminder, Billy Bass. It'll be Cullen Dorcas for Georgia Tech, facing off against Zave Green for Virginia. As they get that door shut, we're ready to roll back for some ACC hockey. Puck dropped, we're back underway. Lee shot from the line, blocked in front, corralled and sent the other way by Connor Coe. Dorcas tried holding the line, sent back in the other way, and it'll be played by the defenseman there. Off the end wall, Sawyer Howe. 2 Jackets and 3 Cavaliers trying to win it free. Golick threw it in front. Back the other way goes As a Party, who has the 1-0 goal for Virginia. Lee looking for Howe. This one broken up, but sent the other way. Lugging it is Cullen Dorcas. Dorcas working around his man, takes a shot deflected over the goal as Virginia looking to get it out. Howe dropping it off Dorcas. This one turned over and sent the other way by As a Party. Cruising with it, Aiden Chung. Puts it in deep. Boyd off the end wall, looking to hit up Golick. Good pinch in there, but it'll pop free to Brady Holbrook.
Boy, I tell you what, Georgia Tech is playing a little conservatively on the forecheck. Had two defensemen way back on the blue line when they had three forwards tied up down low. Back on their own blue line. I should be more accurate about how I phrase that. And from my perspective, I'm just wondering why you're not at least having one up there and maybe pinching in this moment. But it seems like they're respecting this UVA speed early on.
Now, at the same time, only 3 shots on goal generated to this point, so I wonder if that'll be an adjustment they make at the first intermission, where we'll be speaking with one of the coaches from the Georgia Tech squad. Miller looking to keep it in. Virginia looking to dig it out. Poking it out was Johnny Diao. Here's an opportunity. Big chance for Stoner. He scores! Blocker side snipe for Joshua Stoner. It's 2 on the board in the first for Virginia.
Man, that one's tough for Georgia Tech. Last couple of minutes, I thought they had upped the intensity level a little bit there. But you're going to see on the replay here, this is a high-effort play from Stoner. And a bad turnover. All starts with Stoner right there as he picks the pocket and finishes top shelf.
That is great effort from Stoner to stay with the pressure, stripping Greg Steckel of that puck. Stoner, watch out for him. Virginia's leading point scorer had 3 on the board yesterday with 1 goal and 2 assists. Walked into this one with 12 points in 10 games played. This is all if our stats are correct.
That's a good disclaimer.
Yes, keep that in mind. Tech looking to respond to the 2 unanswered as Andrew Zhang will pinch in. As you just talked about, Tech playing a little conservatively, but now they're down 2. They're going to have to change that up and get the offense going.
I'll be curious to see what Greg Steckel does the rest of the way. That was the player who turned it over right there to Stoner, and you'd love to see him respond here for Georgia Tech.
Greg Steckel is a heavy-hitting physical defenseman. Now check this out, a path to the net and a left pad save on Jack Michaud. This one reversing course here, and picking it up is Marcus Kim, but a 2-on-1 battle there as Zhang goes down, and joining the battle is Michaud. Michaud will come away with it. Now sent to the slot here, and at the right point, it's collected by McMillan. McMillan across it goes. Shot blocked by Chambliss, put back in deep. Zhang tries to dig it free. He's got it on his backhand and looks to make an outlet pass towards Shane, but instead with the Cavaliers. Some room here with Haberl, puts it back in deep. Too far for King, but it's Zhang off the wall. Now staying with him, McMillan, some pressure from Chambliss, turned it over, and it's Andrew Zhang flipping it across the sheet to the Cavaliers defenseman, looking to catch, Tech in a change. McMillan, he scores! Alexander McMillan off the rush. It's 3-0 Virginia here in the first period.
Boy, a little bit of deja vu there. It's another Georgia Tech mistake, and that is the guy you cannot allow that much open ice to. We have seen it. His skating ability is unbelievable, and the hands, oftentimes for McMillan, match the skating ability. That is a massive mistake as that puck squirts free. And again, that's just the wrong guy for that to be in that spot in that time if you're Georgia Tech.
Yep, absolutely capitalizing on the bad line change for Tech. Just not the period Tech wanted to open up this ACC semifinal, and here's a turnover the other way to Max Lehman. Lehman looking to cruise right in. He'll stay it in deep. A feed to the left point. It's picked up by Amodio at neutral ice. The past 2 goals, both coming on the rush. Blocker side finishes on Ryan Graff. Virginia capitalizing on their opportunities. 3 on the board with 10 shots on goal. Meanwhile, for Georgia Tech, they have that many shots themselves, just 3 with 3:53 left in the first period. Virginia continuing their cycle game here, as it's going to be played there by Hunter Carlson. Puts it in front, some pressure there, was looking to hit up Trubish as he'll get a stick on it, but just sent all the way down the ice, and it's a Georgia Tech icing.
This is tough here, too, because you're not going to look at either of the last two goals off the rush, one-on-one, and say, hey, that's on our goalie. The thing is, though, when you're not playing well and you have these mistakes, you need a guy like Graf to find a way to be your great equalizer and be your eraser. That hasn't happened so far in this one, and that's how you get a bit of a lopsided score. I don't think Graf is going to I don't think the coaching staff's going to have a problem with Graf on either of those goals, but it's tough, man. When you're not playing well, sometimes you need your goalie to be your best player.
And he has been that a lot of the time for Tech this year, as there's a great opportunity sent wide from the right point, a drive gobbled up by number 30. But speaking of him, he's done that quite a few times this year. He's a freshman goaltender out of Potomac, Maryland, went 47 for 49 in his collegiate debut, 51 for 53 against Auburn, and in his first playoff game yesterday, 30 for 31. Now for Georgia Tech, he's the only goaltender on the roster. We saw in the past game, even though they were winning, St. Joseph's looking to change the momentum up, pulled their starting goaltender. Tech cannot do that to try to gain some momentum themselves.
And that's tough. That's a tough spot to be in, but also in a way it's calming if you're Graf, because one way or another you're getting the work in.
100%. That's a great perspective, but at the same time, it must not be easy back there, tasked with the responsibility. I guess it depends on your mindset, and I've spoken to him a few times. He definitely approaches it with the positive one.
And there's another good save from him, and his last two have been really good. And the key is I think he looks a lot more comfortable when he's in a spot where he's sort of in a box and able to position himself. The last two goals have been, of course, on the rush, where there's been a lot of open space and a lot of open net.
Granted, it's a bit difficult for any goaltender to be faced with prime scoring opportunities like that. So for Tech, we'll see if they're able to tighten up defensively, ending this first period and into the second and onwards. Just 2 minutes remaining in the opening frame. Virginia looking to connect there with Azzopardi. This one left for Levi Miller. Ahead, Sawyer Howe connecting Jack Golick. Golick has Dorcas to his right, enters on the right side, drops it off to him, and Virginia regains control and flips it out to safety. Boyd back on it, looking for Lee. Up ahead, Sawyer Howe. Howe, the leading goal scorer for Tech, gets poked there, and on neutral ice, it's Handelman picking it up. That's a great read from Joshua Lee as he'll poke it out of the zone, and it's won back by Graham Haberl.
Now, to your point earlier, Georgia Tech certainly can learn a lesson from the way Elon responded. Down 4-1 and scored 3 unanswered goals. They played really well in the second period. They could take a lesson from the SEC side of things, where Georgia, down 4-0, scored 3 unanswered and fought their way back into that game. Being down 3-0 after one isn't ideal. Doesn't mean that it's over.
Plenty of hockey left, 40 minutes after this one. Of course, opportunity to regroup in the locker room. Tech's going to look for one here in the final minute. Dorcas will curl up at the near circle. Leaves it for Howe. The centering feed behind Jack Golick at the right point. Miller's shot deflected by Golick just wide. He had a goal taken away in yesterday's game for a deflection off a high stick. Last year's leading goal scorer for the Jackets. Virginia will drop it off right there to Michaud. And working it in deep is Zave Green. Picking it up, Chris Amodio, and onto the far side it goes, where Miller's able to collect it. Banking it off the end wall, looking to put it back in deep. Plenty of room for McLean Boyd. Dorcas through neutral ice. 7 seconds left in the first period. Virginia with one last chance. Looking to spring Jack Michaud. His shot blocker down. And after 20 minutes of play, it's the number 2 Cavaliers up 3-0 on number 3 Georgia Tech.
Sawyer Howe getting involved with a little post-whistle stuff. I will say, for the most part, that last shift for Georgia Tech might have been their best of the period. You saw two, I thought, very creative plays, one into the slot, and then the other one, the redirection attempt. Neither one executed to get a goal, but both decent chances in their own right. That's what we're going to have to see from Georgia Tech. The speed of UVA is an issue, so you're going to have to find a way to reduce the size of the rink, because if you play a 200-foot game against this Cavalier team, I think you're going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Oh, that's some great analysis. We'll see if the Georgia Tech coaching staff will say just that. Speaking of the coaching staff, we'll take a quick break here, but after that we've got a first intermission interview. Thanks for tuning in, and don't go anywhere. The interview coming up shortly. Well, welcome everybody to the first intermission. We've got an interview with one of the Georgia Tech coaches here, Coach Sheridan. Thank you for your time. A tough opening period for Georgia Tech here in the semifinals. What's the message in the locker room going to be like heading into the middle frame?
We got to do everything better. We got to win more 50-50 pucks. We got to be more efficient getting out of our own end. A lot of mental mistakes. Just everything's got to get better. But lucky we got 40 minutes to turn it around. A lot of time.
Well, it's the first season in a long time for Tech in the ACC. Their first ACC playoff win yesterday. Could you speak a little bit about the excitement coming into this one, being matched up against a very good Virginia team?
Yeah, great effort yesterday. It's a great win for the team. I thought everybody worked really hard. Again, disappointing start to this game, but we knew it was going to be a tough, competitive game, and I think we have what it takes in the room. We just got to turn it around.
And one last thing, yesterday, like you said, a great performance. Is there one thing in particular from yesterday's game you'd want to see re-implemented going into the second?
Yeah, we got to be more efficient getting out of our own end. We're spending way too much time messing around with the puck in our own end, and we're not able to get the puck and play a lot in the offensive zone. So if we can be more efficient through the neutral zone and getting out of our own end and get on the front foot, I think we can turn things around.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Okay, thanks.
Well, thank you for tuning in for that intermission. When we return from the break, we'll talk about that first period and get set for the middle 20 here between Tech and Virginia.
Welcome to Jacksonville, or as we like to call it, Jax. As Florida's youngest city, Jacksonville is the destination that you'll leave feeling refreshed. Here, you'll experience a different kind of Florida, one that's rich with arts, culture, and history, exciting outdoor adventures, thrilling sporting events, and a mouth-watering dining scene, all at a more laid-back pace. If you love the outdoors, you've come to the right place. Here you can soak in vitamin D and fresh air while exploring our relaxing beaches, local and national parks, and breathtaking waterways. Stroll on 22 miles of white sand beaches. Test your balance on a surfboard or paddleboard. Take the kayak out, reel in a fresh catch, or cruise around in the water taxi, admiring the picturesque views from the St. Johns River. When you've had enough fun in the sun, stop by any of our local restaurants or breweries to get a true taste of Jack's. Our local chefs take farm to table very seriously, sourcing local and fresh ingredients to create menus that are iconic to Jack's, like Mayport shrimp, caught fresh off our coast daily and prepared differently on menus throughout the city. Wash it all down with a pint of local craft beer from one of 20-plus stops along the Jack's Ale Trail. As a melting pot of many diverse cultures and races, Jacksonville is proud of its vast heritage, dating back over 6,000 years. Visit historical areas, tour world-class museums, and take in the thriving performance art scene. Immerse yourself in our culture by exploring more than a dozen neighborhoods that make up Jack's, each with a unique vibe, colorful public art, exciting festivals and markets, and talented makers. Jack's has just what you need to fuel your fandom. With 6 professional sports teams, numerous surfing and fishing competitions, world-renowned running races, and 2 signature college football games, there's year-round sports excitement to fuel your competitive juices. Do what you love or try something new. Head to visitjacksonville.com to learn more.
The Surf's Up on the flip side. Wave hello to Jax.
Welcome, everybody, to the second period of play between number 2 Virginia and number 3 Georgia Tech. It's a 3-0 Virginia lead heading into the middle frame. Shots on goal 14-4 in favor of the Cavaliers. We'll get set here by taking a look at some of their goals from the first. Alex, you want to talk a little about these finishes?
The speed is what's been so impressive on all these. All 3 goals essentially off the rush and all made by high-effort plays. And here's the thing, and I think this is what I'm noticing a little bit with Georgia Tech that ties back into their breakouts. Hockey is such a shell game, as we're going to see on these next couple of goals here. A lot of it is based on confidence, and plays like this destroy player confidence, right? Your goalie confidence, your defenseman confidence, your ability to handle the puck with pace. And that's the problem here. On all 3 of these goals, they're all mostly off of high-effort plays and a little bit of open space and skating, and you make one mistake and all of a sudden someone's going the other way because you've got this electric talent on the Virginia side. So that's the challenge Georgia Tech has to deal with, is that they have got to find a way to play, especially as we heard Coach talk about, on their breakouts with a level of confidence that obviously they're not going to necessarily have after the way that first period went. So that's a huge challenge that they're going to have to deal with. I think the easiest way to break through that is start strong. Don't necessarily start overly aggressive, but they're going to have to find a way to complete some early passes.
Well, we saw there on that replay those latter 2 goals, near mirror images of each other for Virginia, so Georgia Tech needs to make sure the Cavaliers don't get any more clear odd man rushes like that if they want to stay in this one. We talked about at the end of the first period a couple of comebacks here today in the SEC playoffs, and then even in last game's ACC matchup between Elon and St. Joseph's. Couple of comebacks where teams were able to cash in 3 times in a row. That is the deficit for Tech right now. Obviously for Virginia, you're coming off an 8-0 win yesterday, looking to do more of the same. We'll see how it all plays out here as the second period action starts getting underway. Shot from the point denied by Bass. Lee whiffed on that shot there, and Virginia's in control with Andrew Handelman. Handelman off the boards. McLean Boyd tries holding the zone. Instead, the other way goes Stoner. Stoner puts it on goal. Graff the save. The rebound behind him. They score! Virginia keeping with it, putting the puck on net and putting the loose change home. It's 4-0 Cavaliers thanks to Johnny Diao.
So I thought originally that Graff was going to make an appeal to the officials. We'll see it here. So, yeah, he never has control. He just doesn't know where the puck is. And I wonder if the case he was trying to make is he thought it was under him. But, yeah, that, from the start, that's a tough way for the second period to begin.
And you saw there as well, Joshua Lee came back to clear it out of the crease, just fanned on that clearing attempt, enabling Diao to put it home, as there's a nice shot there from Marcus Kim. It's 4-0 Virginia, and if you're Georgia Tech trying to come back, at this point, the next goal would be devastating. We'll see how they respond to it with Zach Keschner up the right wing. His shot gets erased by McMillan, who, as we've talked about, has been all over this one. Again, 2 assists yesterday for the defenseman out of Bethesda, Maryland. Cruising in with this one, Stoner dropping it off to Green. It's Stoner below the goal line here. Stoner cruises his way to the far side, drops it off in the slot. They score! A clapper from Zev Green from the high slot. 5-0 Virginia, 2 minutes into the second.
Well, and that's that top line for UVA, right? And now they're not even running them that way to start. Getting their bottom players a little bit extra time out there. That's a tough one there for the netminder. Is the thing that's so frustrating here, if you're Georgia Tech, I actually liked their first shift in the offensive zone, created a chance, And again, just lacking in consistency, following up immediately with 2 high-danger plays, and in both cases leading to goals.
Yep, that one, as I took a look on the replay, I think Graf was screened by his own defenseman Agarwal trying to block the shot, but nice work there to get it around the defenseman and on target. So 5-0 Cavaliers here in the second. Early in the second, Georgia Tech with 4 shots on goal as compared to the 18 from Virginia. Little spill from the referee there, but as we talked about on the last broadcast, no surprises in the quarterfinal with all higher-ranked teams advancing to the semis. If this score holds, tomorrow's championship game will be number 1 St. Joseph's against number 2 Virginia. Of course, we're not even halfway through this one, so weirder things have happened in hockey before, but Virginia's got to be feeling good about themselves.
Boy, UVA, what a tournament they are having now, up 13-0.
13-0 with a dominant 8-0 win yesterday, limiting the shots on goal for Charlotte. Could be a 2-on-1 the other way. Mishandling that, but sticking with it is Hunter Carlson, putting it back in deep towards Adam Trubish. Far corner, that's Steckel there, up the far wing. 2-on-2 situation for Tech as Chambliss joins to his aid. He'll drop it off to him. His shot gets blocked in front, and it's able to be collected by Trubish. Cruising the other way, Dylan Azzopardi, first goal scorer of the night for Virginia. Lee, he scores! Joshua Lee gets Tech on the board, sneaking it under the arm of Bass. Georgia Tech finally with the answer, and it's a 4-goal game.
Well, looking forward to seeing the replay on this one. I think Bass just misplays it, but Manu Naik started yesterday, and I'm wondering, similar situation there, I wonder if the Virginia player actually screened his own goalie a little bit there.
That one just right under the arm for Joshua Lee. Lee is a defenseman out of St. Louis, Missouri, but out of all the defensemen on Georgia Tech, might be one of the more offensive-minded ones, has 12 points in 24 games, but always loves to join the rush, as we just saw there. Make it goal number 3 on the season for him. Now Virginia, of course, looking to regain the 5-goal lead. That one put on goal and frozen by Graf.
So the shutout streak for the Cavaliers ends at 83 minutes and change. And worth noting here, though, again, they're having still an excellent defensive day. Have only allowed 5 shots on goal, only allowed 10, I think was the final number yesterday for Naik's shutout. Wonder what they're going to wind up doing in goal for the championship game here, as they are likely to have 2 very well-rested netminders.
That's a very good problem to have if you're Virginia. Phenomenal defensive effort. I just can't get over that. That is quite like playing the video games on rookie difficulty, only giving up 10 shots yesterday. Now it's 5 for Georgia Tech with 15 minutes left in the second. We'll see if that Lee goal can give them a burst of momentum, as it's Levi Miller sailing it just wide. Connolly will pick it up, who had an assist on that Lee goal. Trying to break it out there for Virginia was Graham Wiggins. A shot denied by Billy Bass, and the Cavaliers looking to work it with Ryan Cristiano.
Nice save there. That one through traffic. I don't know that he saw that one cleanly, but made the save there. And that's good for Bass after giving up one that he might want back.
The confidence appears to be back. It's Azzopardi left circle, denied by Graf with the right pad. Azzopardi picking it up, and a nice deke there. Poke to safety to Sean Connolly for Tech, and one back the other way for Brady Holbrook. Virginia just gets it in deep, forcing Graf to make a play. Around the end wall it goes, trying to hold the line, Graham Haberl, as he'll slide it to his defensive partner, Alexander McMillan, who sends it right back into that O-zone. A feed to the slot there, flipped out of the zone for GT, and chasing after it, Brady Holbrook. D-to-D pass with McMillan here, as McMillan looks to start the rush. A little poke track from Golick, but McMillan stays with it. Nice control from him. His shot goes to the far side, or near side here. Sawyer Howe up ahead towards Cullen Dorcas. Dorcas with Golick here. Dorcas up the left wing. Drops it to Golick. A shot and a save by Bass. The rebound cleared to safety. Andrew Zhang looking to put it back on goal. And the other way for Virginia, it's Johnny Diao. Poked ahead and staying with it, Graham Haberl. Enters the zone, pokes it in, but not before it's deemed offside.
So I guess he must not have entered the zone cleanly, because I was just going to say I'm pretty confident there's an offside there on the far side. A guy who didn't get back and tag up in time, and, well, lo and behold.
And I guess they're saying that was more or less of an intentional entrance with the face-off coming back all the way to the defensive zone. Virginia skating one of their men off, so now 5-on-5 as it should be. Tech wins this draw, and a breakaway developing for Zave Green. Green looking for the shot, and Joshua Lee with a tremendous backcheck, looking to spring Dorcas the other way, but it's Davis Jones.
Lee turned on the Jets there. That is a tremendous play, and it's good to see Georgia Tech still engaged even when down by 4, knowing there is a lot of hockey to play.
Dorcas shot gloved down by Bass, and he'll hold on. Looks like he's having a fun time out there, which is great to see. Let's take a look at this pressure there from Zave Green, and how about this back check?
Oh my goodness. He was just perfect stride for stride and took the correct angle, and insult to injury there as Green goes into the boards after the play.
Of course, we talked about Lee after his most recent goal, but talked about his speed on the offensive side, putting it to good use there on the back end, and that's something the head coach of this Georgia Tech team, Colin Roberts, spoke to us about before Tech's outdoor game against ECU, is that Joshua Lee has developed tremendously on the back end. It's Cullen Dorcas leaving it to Howe, but a nice poke check from Adam Trubish.
That was a great stick tie-up, by the way, for Rowan Agarwal down low for Georgia Tech. That led to this possession on the other side.
Agarwal, a new defenseman for Tech this semester, started extremely hot on the offensive side with 4 points in 4 games played, 2 goals, 2 assists. A key piece of this Tech back end now. Sawyer Howe one-on-one was looking to pull the puck through the legs of Trubish. Dorcas in control, through the seam looking for Howe. On the backhand towards Cadell, turned over and put the other way. Agarwal lets one go, and it ends up in the far corner. Good pinch at the line from Miller. Takes a shot, fended off by Bass, and played back to that left point. Degli Umberto with Elena, shot blocked in front. Rebound for Goodell, as Virginia more than content to just get a clear and reset. It's an icing call.
A little bit of pressure there from Georgia Tech. It's one of the first times we've seen sustained pressure leading to Virginia just to say, hey, we'll punt this out and live to fight another day.
Not too sure what's going on with the soundtrack with 2 ACC teams competing here, but you got the FSU war chant going on in here. I don't think either of these teams would be too happy about that. Levi Miller approaching the goal line, leaving it with Keschner, and back with Miller trying to wrap it around. Degli Umberto was in front, trying to jam it in. On the counterattack, Hunter Carlson, tight angle shot, stopped by Graff, and he'll freeze the rebound. Second period media timeout now underway. Virginia up 5-1. We'll take a quick break and be back with the rest of the action. Welcome back to Winston-Salem for the ACC semifinals. Number 2, Virginia up big, 5-1 on number 3, Georgia Tech, but it was the Yellow Jackets who have the most recent goal thanks to Joshua Lee. Virginia looking to regain the 5-goal lead here as they've got it in the offensive zone with Azzopardi, and now at the left point trying to keep it in but unable to, Graham Haberl. This puck rolls all the way to their defensive end. Zach Keschner laying the body. Graham Wiggins looking to break it out, and carrying it is Alexander McMillan. Up to the far side it goes. It's Chong, and now dropping it off, sending it in front. Keegan Goodell gloving it down and playing it to McMillan. Swung around to the near side here. Now left point with Haberl. Shot deflected, and Zhang was trying to glove that one down. On the far side now, Virginia looking to continue the cycle game. Keegan Goodell trying to drop it off. A shot from the top of the circle, sticked aside from Graff. One more chance for the Cavaliers as it's Aiden Chong on it. Now Keschner on the backhand. A chance from the near half wall, swung wide, and a great shift for Virginia trying to capitalize on it. This one pops towards the net of Ryan Graff. Andrew Zhang with some time and space, electing to use it by skating with it himself. Zhang backhands it into the zone. A couple Jackets are able to make a line change. Virginia right back into the offensive end. A nice deke there, and that pass will connect with Brady Holbrook. Now looking to bat it down, Zach Keschner, and he'll swing it across the ice to Greg Steckel. Steckel in deep in the far corner, dropping it off to Molnar. Molnar near side, a backhand feed to the point with King. King across to Lee, loading one up. This time, Bass sees it all the way and makes a glove save.
A little bit better, though, from Georgia Tech. The passing is a little bit more crisp. Here's the thing. This second period, I think, has been much better in general for Georgia Tech. The mistake at the start of the period looms large over them right now in terms of trying to get back into it, though.
Would have to agree with that assessment. Now for Tech, they're definitely happier with this kind of performance than the one in the first period, but still a ton of ground to make up for, as there's a chance now. Boyd left point, letting one go. Bass got it in the chest, and he'll hold on for the whistle. That's just a good positioning save for Billy Bass, the goaltender out of Reston, Virginia. As you mentioned, he was not the starter for UVA last night. That was Manu Naik between the pipes, and as we said, it'll be an interesting decision who will be playing tomorrow.
Now, as we say that, I mentioned that earlier. I should have said if Virginia holds on.
If Virginia holds on.
And it's worth noting here, I say that as well as Virginia has played through the first half of this game, we have seen multiple times today where all of a sudden a team that looks dead in the water, all of a sudden a little bit of a pulse, and all of a sudden they have life again.
All it takes is a couple of defensive breakdowns from Virginia for Tech to try to capitalize on in the same fashion that UVA did in the first. Tech generating some offense for themselves in this middle frame. We'll see if it continues here. They'll try to break it out from their own end, but instead, Zave Green. Green from a tight angle. That one deflected in front. Virginia looking to wrap it around, but a good defensive effort from McLean Boyd prevented that opportunity. Now in the near side, it's Jack Myshod. Myshod throwing it in front, looking to hit up a man in Marcus Kim. Kim on the far corner, dropping it to the right point. A quick shot there, blocked in front and erased on Joshua Stoner, and now Joshua Lee looking to test Bass from range. Connolly on the backhand puts it in deep as he gets his team plenty of time to make a line change. A backhand over to Kim. Kim looking to work around the defenseman Agarwal, as Agarwal looking to retrieve it for GT. Kim will kick it to himself and stay with it and drop it off to the line. Looking to load up a one-timer perhaps from McMillan. Now a shot through traffic, kicked away. The rebound denied as well. Ends up below the goal line here with Hunter Carlson. Connolly looking to come away with it, as does Shane. Walking the line here is McMillan. A chance in the slot towards the vicinity of Carlson. Carlson at the near circle, now high slot with the shot, wide on the far side, but in control of McMillan. Virginia finding their game once again. Levi Miller looking to disrupt it. He'll flip it to safety, but out of play.
It's been funny because of how much Virginia has succeeded off the rush today. We haven't spent a lot of time talking about what they're capable of doing when they get set up in the offensive zone. That's a brilliant shift. They don't ultimately get rewarded on it now, but I wonder if that's something that we could see later as a result. Now that's big. Again, if they make it to tomorrow, they're going to need to have some shifts like that against a St. Joseph's team that can score at will, and we saw today can defend as well.
The cycle game has been absolutely tremendous for this Cavaliers team, as right off the draw they test Graf as he makes a save, and a wholesale change for the Yellow Jackets heading into this face-off coming right up. This draw will be between Hunter Carlson and Cullen Dorcas. Dorcas will win it cleanly. Braden King there for Tech. Dorcas around the wall. At the right point there, that's McMillan. As Dorcas on the backhand, looking to hit up Eli Rubin. But good pressure from the Cavaliers, and on it is Adam Trubish. Rubin going back the other way. Looking to win it back, Hunter Carlson, and he does. A good stick lift on Dorcas, and now out of the zone by Rubin. Trubish sticking with it, getting it to Graham Hayburl. Andrew Zhang on his backhand, spins to the forehand, looking to start the rush. Right wing, cutting it back here, a bit too far, but some nice hands from Zhang there. Poking it to safety are the Cavaliers. Zhang's going to skate all the way back to pick it up.
I don't think Hunter Carlson saw that last flip out of the zone. He didn't wind up attacking it, and then ultimately, once he realized what had happened, went to the bench.
Well, this one put back into the offensive end, banked off the end wall there with Eric Soltau, who's back in the lineup for Georgia Tech. Eli Rubin cruising right in, taking a hit there, but getting it in deep to Soltau. Soltau chips it in front, no one home for the Jackets. It's Zhang at the left point looking to reverse the other way. Breaking it out here, Graham Hayburl. That's Azaparty. To the left circle, it goes with Wiggins. Around to the far side, Golick bodying up his man, Handelman. Connects here with Chong, sent to the top of the circle, and Graf saw it the whole way and gloves it down.
Graf has really calmed down here, and one of the things I like, you mentioned he's a really young goaltender. Big praise coming here for a guy who's allowed 5 goals already, but it's worth noting anytime he is in that moment where he is not spending either a lot of time facing a one-on-one situation or he's not being pulled east to west, he is very positionally sound on everything north and south. That's very similar when the Winnipeg Jets are playing at their best, not this season, but they're playing at their best and have had some of these big-time Vezina years for Connor Hellebuck. That's how they do it. They limit the east-west stuff and force teams to play north-south against them, knowing that their goaltender is going to clean up most of that. I've been impressed with the way Graf has looked when Georgia Tech has played that style. That is something they could potentially build off going down the road.
Well, that's an excellent point. It's something I noticed right away in game number 1 of his collegiate career, as he was filled with a tall order, replacing a very good Brendan Germano, who was the captain for Georgia Tech last season, was facing 50-plus shots a night for the most part. But something about his game, he was an extremely athletic goaltender, loved to move around the crease. Noticed right away with Graf, he's very positionally sound. And as you mentioned, we're seeing it here tonight. Virginia, of course, looking to put some more pucks behind him as they'll get it in deep. And the first one to it was Marcus Kim. Now that's Jack Myshod. Myshod sticking with it, banking it to the right point. Sliding it across here with Davis Jones. A seam pass, whiffing on the one-timer there was Zave Green, who is a goal scorer for Virginia here tonight.
Now the Royal Road was open on that pass, but doesn't make a difference as it's whiffed on the shot.
Dorcas entering the zone. A stop by Bass. The rebound for Howe. That one popped up over his stick, and a nice deke from Dorcas as he'll chip away for this puck. 2-on-2 battle around the end wall. Golick tries to get there for Tech. Poked ahead to Kim as he'll drop it off. Little bit of a miscommunication, and so Dorcas will flip it back in. Golick trying to win it back for Tech. Now a battle between Howe and Green. Looking for Lee. Will give it back to Howe. Puck in his skates down low for Dorcas. Looking to set up Golick in front. That one pops free into neutral ice.
I'm waiting to see if Georgia Tech can take advantage at all on a shift like that. Probably 3 of their best shifts, including that one of the game, have all come by setting up and establishing time in the offensive zone. Got to get that forecheck working.
Well, it's another very good shift for their top line of Cullen, Dorcas, Jack Golick, and Sawyer Howe. All 3 players over point a game for this Yellow Jacket squad. And you're seeing why a little bit here, but you got to get that puck past Billy Bass with 2:46 left in the second, down 4 if you are Georgia Tech. Meanwhile, it's the captain, Degli Umberto, putting it in deep as he'll win it back, looking for Zach Keschner, loading up a shot, block in front. That was a nice block there from Joshua Stoner. Keschner again blocked by his own man, Degli Umberto. Virginia unable to get it out. A shot there deflected it to the near side. Now the Virginia Cavaliers, I thought we were going to get that clear. Instead, this is what happens when you're unable to clear the zone. Georgia Tech still applying the pressure, and Zach Keschner draws a tripping penalty.
That last one, right? That last attempt to get it out of the zone is the one that's going to be the one they're going to regret the most, as that's directly going to lead to this power play.
Well, it's the captain for UVA, Joshua Stoner. We'll take a look at it. Of course, if you don't make that trip, Keschner might be in alone, so maybe it was worth it, but now you got to kill off a penalty for UVA.
Yeah, I'd say it's worth it. It's very similar to an intentional pass interference in college football.
Right.
So,
well, with just 2 minutes left, this would be a prime look as Golick gets shut down by the blocker of Bass. It'd be a lot more manageable heading into the locker room down 3 as opposed to 4. As this one deflected out of play. But as we saw in the last game, you got to be careful. Sometimes things don't go your way, as St. Joseph's conceded a shorthanded goal.
I've seen a lot of shorthanded goals, I feel like, this weekend. That was a disaster of a moment for St. Joseph's. Now, Georgia Tech, if you can get a goal here, worth noting that if you score here and you get to the period that way, you wind up winning the period +1. Well, and not much more you can ask for, I think.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. We'll see if that ends up happening or if the Virginia PK can shut it down. Howe to the left point, Boyd. Across near flank, Dorcas. His shot blocked in front, maybe by Golick, his own man. The Virginia Cavaliers looking for a clear as Golick will sauce it towards Dorcas and now to Boyd. Boyd stepping in, his shot blocked in front. That was Graham Haberl looking for the clear. Plenty of room for Sawyer Howe. Beautiful deke and a tremendous save. Put back in front. Bass looking to get it covered, and he's got it frozen in the crease.
Well, this is, for what it's worth, a tremendous piece of goaltending from Bass. But also a little bit of luck, because there is one moment in this sequence when we watch it, he's out of position, and they couldn't get a shot off. And once he's able to get back into position, he makes a great save.
Well, first, that's the leading goal scorer, Howe, who gets shut down. That's a tremendous block on the Dorcas shot. So maybe not luck, maybe a tremendous effort. If that was the one you were referring to.
It was. He was down for the count. The block is what bails him out, though. And then he's able to get back in for the second save. So again, we talk about it all the time. Hockey's a team game, man, and there is, in this sport, there is no one way. There's no LeBron in hockey, right? There's no, what a reference for me now that he's in his 40s. But there's no one superstar that is going to be able to help you win games. You still have to do it as a group of 18, or in this case, 20.
I didn't quite catch who had that block, but a goal-scoring situation there, or a goal-saving situation. Georgia Tech with just 7 seconds remaining on this power play. Agarwal right point, getting it to Miller, across the seam, walking in. Lee, and another good save made by Billy Bass. Fresh out of the box is the captain, and Wolves skate 5 aside to end the second.
I'd love to see that replay during the intermission. If we could watch this again during the intermission. That's another big save, and Billy Bass has been excellent here outside of one moment in this second period, and still worth noting that might have been a partial screen on that first goal, so I don't know that he's necessarily guilty of a bad one, but he has more than made up for it with his play here in the backstage of the second period as Georgia Tech has gotten their legs under them. That's the interesting part. I feel like they have not been rewarded as much as you would have expected with the way they played of late.
How shot gets blocked there, and to that end, I wonder how that affects them mentally heading into the third period. You feel like you might have been able to get a couple more on the board, but you're facing a really tough goaltender. The second period has ended here in Winston-Salem with number 2 Virginia up 5-1 on number 3 Georgia Tech.
Well, again, we saw it here earlier, an SEC game where, and I'm not going to compare Georgia to Georgia Tech per se. Georgia had a much better season than Georgia Tech, and what they did, though, to South Carolina in the third period of that game, came out, scored 3 goals, down 4-0 in 6.5 minutes to open that period. That is what you're looking for if you're Georgia Tech. That's the ideal scenario. I'm not saying it's going to happen, and there are obviously things that they're going to have to do, but progress was made in that second period by Georgia Tech. First period couldn't have gone any worse. That was some progress there.
Would have to agree. Would you look at that? Shots on goal now 24-17, so much more respectable for Tech in this intermission. We're about to step aside briefly. We'll try to get an interview with the coach of the Virginia Cavaliers. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for joining us here this evening, and we'll step aside.
The Surf's Up on the flip side. Wave hello to Jax.
Well, welcome everybody to the second intermission. We have an interview with the coach of the Virginia Cavaliers, Coach Sanat. Thank you for your time. Now, Georgia Tech towards the end of that second period was starting to make a bit of a push. What's something you guys need to do to prevent a comeback here in the third period?
Yeah, we got a little complacent towards the end of that period and just stayed out of position. So just trying to clean a couple things up on making sure we're in position and doing the jobs that we need to be doing out there.
Well, on the flip side of the coin, you're up 5-1. Obviously, lots of good things your team has done. What's one thing in particular you want to see out of your team heading into the third period on the positive side?
Yeah, the pace that we had at the beginning of the first period was great, and the shots that we had allocated towards the front of the net, so we want to try to get back to what we were doing in the first period.
Coach, do you want to take a minute to talk about your blue line? You got a couple of guys, whether it's McMillan, Cristiano, Stoner. These guys are so good with the puck and so good in open ice. Saw it in the first period. What makes these guys so special?
I'm really lucky to have the blue line that we have this year. We have about 8 great defensemen who have done a great job the entire season with stuff in front of the net, winning puck battles, making sure that they're doing their job effectively. So as a coach, I commend those guys on their effort in practices and in games. They've been a highlight for our season so far.
And really quickly, one last thing. You're one period away from the ACC championship. What's your overall message to the team heading into the final 20?
Yeah, it's a full boat race to the finish line here, so we got to put together 20 more minutes, string it together, and come out on top so we can play again tomorrow.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I guess the question is, do they have the goods? They certainly looked that way in the first period.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to that interview. Third period coming up next here on AAU Plus. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you for the final period of regulation time.
Welcome to Jacksonville, or as we like to call it, Jax. As Florida's youngest city, Jacksonville is the destination that you'll leave feeling refreshed. Here, you'll experience a different kind of Florida, one that's rich with arts, culture, and history, exciting outdoor adventures, thrilling sporting events, and a mouth-watering dining scene, all at a more laid-back pace. If you love the outdoors, you've come to the right place. Here you can soak in vitamin D and fresh air while exploring our relaxing beaches, local and national parks, and breathtaking waterways. Stroll on 22 miles of white sand beaches. Test your balance on a surfboard or paddleboard. Take the kayak out, reel in a fresh catch, or cruise around in the water taxi, admiring the picturesque views from the St. Johns River. When you've had enough fun in the sun, stop by any of our local restaurants or breweries to get a true taste of Jax. Our local chefs take farm to table very seriously, sourcing local and fresh ingredients to create menus that are iconic to Jax, like Mayport shrimp, caught fresh off our coast daily and prepared differently on menus throughout the city. Wash it all down with a pint of local craft beer from one of 20-plus stops along the Jax Ale Trail. As a melting pot of many diverse cultures and races, Jacksonville is proud of its vast heritage, dating back over 6,000 years. Visit historical areas, tour world-class museums, and take in the thriving performance art scene. Immerse yourself in our culture by exploring more than a dozen neighborhoods that make up Jax, each with a unique vibe, colorful public art, exciting festivals and markets, and talented makers. Jax has just what you need to fuel your fandom. With 6 professional sports teams, numerous surfing and fishing competitions, world-renowned running races, and 2 signature college football games, there's year-round sports excitement to fuel your competitive juices. Do what you love or try something new. Head to visitjacksonville.com to learn more.
Hi everyone, third period coming up here in Winston-Salem between Georgia Tech and Virginia, the second ACC semifinal in 2026. We'll take a quick look at the bracket, and Alex, you want to walk us through how it's played out?
Yeah, it's been mostly chalk, and other than the very first day on Thursday night in the play-in round, Appalachian State pulled off an upset over East Carolina, and since that moment, it has been all chalk. And the one thing you're probably noticing, that 16-1, that's not a 16 seed beating a 1. That was the score of that game. St. Joseph's just obliterated Appalachian State, a game that got completely out of hand. There were 3 major penalties in that game. First 5-on-3 I've ever seen from 2 majors happening simultaneously. And St. Joseph's held on today to get a 5-4 win as well. So that's what is at stake tomorrow at 2 o'clock right here and right, if you're watching at home, right in the exact space you're watching right now. The winner of this one will take on St. Joseph's. And I got to tell you, I like Virginia's chances if they wind up winning. If Georgia Tech can play more like they did in the second period, I will feel a little better about them in the championship game as well. Much better second period for them. They have got to now build on that here in the third.
Well, Georgia Tech has played up to competition very well at points throughout this season. This was not the start that they wanted, but like you said, were able to respond a little bit in that second. They had a few good looks. One chance in particular, absolutely robbed on the power play, not by Billy Bass, but it was number 6, Graham Wiggins, just getting his stick in the shooting lane, redirecting what would have been a shot on a pretty much open net from Cullen Dorcas. So it's all about, as we talked about in the second, every single man stepping up and playing their hardest to win in hockey.
Yeah, and that allowed Bass enough time to get back in position and make the second save of that sequence on net.
After that block, like you just said, Bass played tremendously to get that puck frozen. But that was at the end of the second. Third period underway here to get things going. 24-17 Cavaliers in the shot department. They've got the puck in the offensive zone with Kim looking to hit up Green. Now at the point, give and go Green. His shot glove down by Ryan Graff.
Ooh, that thing had some English on it. My goodness. Good save from Graff.
Nice snag there as he was ducking a little bit. Got that glove elevated just in time, and a face-off coming up to his right as a result. Hunter Carlson set to take this one against AJ Dagliamberto. Dagliamberto will win it, and it's Agarwal curling back. Agarwal looking to get the legs going. He'll speed in right wing. Shot deflected into the near side. Goodell. Give and go with him. As this one available for Zach Keschner, sent to the line. One-timer from Miller, blocked aside there by Bass, getting just enough of that one. Looking to break it out and chipping it ahead. A bit too far for the intended target in Lehman, but entering the zone is Carlson. Carlson's shot sticked aside by Graff as Dagliamberto looks to bank it around the wall. Too far for Keschner, and pinching in there was Graham Haberl. To the near side it goes. Trubish to the right point, and McMillan. Right circle now with Lehman as Dagliamberto and Miller trying to get it out of the zone. To the far wing it goes with Trubish, now collected by Tex Rowan Agarwal.
Man, Trubish was in really good position. Puck just was not delivered correctly. He would have been there for a potential backdoor opportunity.
It was a really good look as this one is blown dead. Not sure what that one was. Did you catch that?
No. The only thing I can think of here, they're saying someone played it with a high stick. For it to come all the way down for an offensive zone face-off with no penalty.
Yeah, I noticed the linesman's arm go up, but I didn't think to myself, that could be a hand pass, high stick, not too sure. Molnar with speed, left circle shot goes wide, glove side. That second chance opportunity deflected to the near wall. A backhand there from Graham Wiggins as he'll get it back and play it ahead. Right wing chance for Aiden Chong. Now into the offensive zone as a party, a tight angle shot on cue, a glove save from Ryan Graff.
So I think Virginia's been a little stronger here than they certainly finished the second period, and that's ideal. You're got to remember this is a 60-minute game. You're going to have ebbs and flows like that, and sometimes you're going to have those moments where you just kind of lose a little bit of focus.
Well, have they ever responded well, as there's a shot off the iron from Graham Wiggins, who I feel like since I credited him with that block in front has been all over the offense for his team. Now put back in deep behind the net of Graff. Lee will reverse it, but instead turned over there to Azaparty. Had the first goal of the game for UVA. To the right point it goes. That's Jones throwing it in front. Collected by Lee as he'll bank it off the end wall to himself. Azaparty collects for Virginia. Pressure there from Molnar and Boyd. Molnar looking to come away with it, and he will, and he'll go for a skate up the right wing to the left with Steckel. Steckel enters the zone, testing Bass, who gobbles it up.
Testing him from distance a little bit, and didn't really have any other option there as the play was kind of closing in on him. Speed of that Virginia blue line that Kyle Sanat talked about. But if you're Georgia Tech, I think at this point the ideal goal here is you got to get some bodies in front, create some traffic, and see what you can do as far as making life difficult for this netminder.
Now Joshua Lee did score from range, but I mean, completing a 5-goal comeback just by throwing it from the blue line would be quite remarkable. So I'd have to agree with you there. Let's see if they could get a little more dirty in front. Of course, not playing dirty, just getting more physical in front of the crease and making Bass uncomfortable.
I think the challenge is, and again, this is where the Virginia speed plays such a big role in this. They've been burned by it 3 times, all in the first period. And right now, I think the thought process is we've got to find a way to make sure that they don't have a bunch of open ice to stretch. And that limits what Georgia Tech can do as far as trying to come back in this game if they're going to play that way.
Well, we just saw Golick with a nice backhand chance. Instead, it's Howe cruising in. His backhand, good test on Bass. So he'll stick this one aside as Golick threw it in front from behind the goal line. Now this one back the other way. Handelman there as Howe tries to dig it free for Tech. Ends up at the blue line with Levi Miller. Miller, what a block there, and a chance the other way. Breakaway for Stoner, tripped up from Andrew Zhang, and a penalty shot.
So we just had this question asked the other day by someone. Our producer, Butch, who had just mentioned, or I think Butch might be our director, actually more accurately. Levi is our producer. But Butch asked me this question: what constitutes a penalty shot? Has to be a clear breakaway. There's a lot of room for the referee to have some discretion here, but that is as crystal clear a breakaway opportunity as you're ever going to get in that moment. And again, we talked about intentional pass interference in college football before. That was basically what this is here.
You could see it there. A great back check from Zhang, of course, preventing the goal.
Because you look at it, Zhang knows he can't get to the puck. He knows he's not getting to the puck. But if he sells out, he has at least a chance of getting to the player.
Well, here we go. The captain, Joshua Stoner, in on Graf. He scores! Joshua Stoner with the insurance on the penalty shot. A 5-hole goal, restoring the 5-goal lead.
And the one thing worth noting here, we had mentioned it about Georgia Tech and the way that they are trying to limit these long stretch plays. That was another one there where if you go back to the initial play that leads to this penalty shot, it all starts with the mistake that creates this vast amount of open space. And whether it was going to be on that shot or on the penalty shot, they capitalize.
Yeah, it was good effort from Zhang there, but I mean, what a finish on the penalty shot. Got Graf moving right to left, opening up that 5-hole, sliding it right through. 6-1 Cavaliers here in the third. They must be feeling good about themselves and their chances for tomorrow. If the score holds, number 1 St. Joseph's, undefeated in ACC play this season, would be taking on number 2 UVA in what should be an amazing game. This one's not over yet, though, and Virginia looking to add to their lead here. McMillan in the offensive zone. A one-timer from range and a nice reactionary stop from Graf, adjusting to that change in trajectory with a great right pad save.
There's nothing more fun, nothing that I love more than a goalie able to find a way to stop a play like that. It is so uncommon.
What a chance right in front for Kim there, as a great blocker save again from Graf. This one put all the way down. Georgia Tech with the line change, top line on, looking to answer the penalty shot goal. McMillan here for UVA. There's Golick and Dorcas winning it back. Dorcas right circle, sliding it to Sawyer Howe as he has some trouble getting the shot away. This one turned over, looking to spring a man ahead in Hunter Carlson, a bit far for him. He'll throw it in front, but it doesn't connect cleanly, and that's a penalty on Sawyer Howe, a cross-checking call on number 87. Now Sawyer Howe, a freshman here for Georgia Tech, as we said, leading goal scorer for this Yellow Jacket squad. But he, more than anybody else, I would say, loves to get involved physically with some extracurricular activity. That one just not the appropriate move. Of course, dealing with some frustration, down 5 with your season on the line, and looks like they're going to get one more party. Or excuse me, one more representative from each party. We'll take a look at that play here and see the cross-check there, just dealing with some frustration perhaps, and then a little skirmish afterwards for the extra 2.
And again, going back to the hockey play part of it, worth noting another one of those moments where UVA's speed opens up the back portion of the ice. And I guess down 6-1 at this point, I don't know how much longer Georgia Tech even has to worry about trying to press to get back into this one. They are running low on time.
Yeah, I think that penalty shot goal was pretty devastating for Tech if the deficit were not too large already. Look at this chance. A great look for Adam Trubish, but he pulled it just wide glove side. Virginia still in control in the offensive zone on this man advantage. Looking to set up the captain here at the right point. Sliding it across, that's Cristiano. This one put in deep. Graf looking to freeze it on the side of his cage, and he is able to do so. Well, we'll resume this power play here to the right of Ryan Graf. Virginia looking to dig it free. Looking to set up shop here with Ryan Cristiano. Cristiano to the far side, Trubish. Top of the zone, it goes with Stoner. Down low, looking to set up a man. Still looking back door, and it's pulled just wide there from Cristiano.
Boy, the UVA passing has been crisp on this power play.
Phenomenal passing out of the Cavaliers, trying to get something going again. A shot deflected, looking to put it back in front, and on it here is Carlson taking a shot, deflected once more, this time out of play.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what unit comes out here now for UVA, because up by this much, they can play around with different formations, different lines, however they want to do it. I don't think they're in too much danger at this point of losing, as we're now just closing in on the 12-minute mark here in the third period.
Well, taking this draw is Mr. Graham Wiggins. He'll lose it to Cullen Dorcas. Lee on the backhand looking for the clear. Gets it. It goes all the way down to the UVA end. And collecting this one, starting the attempt the other way, is Davis Jones. Jones, a bit far, but eventually gets to a target. And now on it is Wiggins. Wiggins swings it to the right point. Give and go with Amodio here. Amodio slides it across to Jones. Jones back for Amodio. Puts it down low towards the near or far circle. A backhand saucer feed read well by Dorcas. Will flip it off the glass, holding the zone Amodio right back in deep. Lee with a chance to clear. Held in at the left point with Jones. Ethan Molnar looking for a shorthanded bid. That is Sawyer Howe out of the box, and an offside called on UVA, I believe. And so with this stoppage of play, the other two members of the box are released. It's the final media timeout of this one. UVA up 6-1 on Georgia Tech. We'll be right back.
Greetings from Jacksonville, the flip side of Florida. Around here, something special is always brewing. Tap into our thriving beer scene and hit the ale trail to enjoy craft beers from over 25 local breweries. So hop on by, pull up a chair, and raise a glass to the flip side. On the flip side, anything is possible, except running out of delicious beer. Learn more at visitjacksonville.com.
The Surf's Up on the flip side. Wave hello to Jax.
Welcome back for the third period here in Winston-Salem. The number 3 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets down 6-1 to the number 2 University of Virginia Cavaliers. Shots on goal 30-18 here as we have the final 10 seconds of our timeout.
And after a bit of a lackadaisical second period defensively for Virginia, which is something we haven't been able to say much in this tournament, the third period has looked much better. Georgia Tech had a shift or two early in the third that looked pretty good overall, though Virginia has allowed just a single shot on goal here through the first 8 minutes and 40 seconds of this third period.
We just saw in this third period a penalty shot goal from Virginia's captain, Joshua Stoner. Impressive little deke and beating Graf 5-hole. Might I mention, Mr. Stoner, a defenseman, so a really nice deke there from him. Georgia Tech looking just to play for pride here, as it looks like their season will be coming to an end here tonight, barring any miraculous comebacks. Miller swings it across to Rowan Agarwal, put back around the boards. Picking it up here is Davis Jones in the near corner. He'll reverse back the other way to Chris Amodio. Now sent ahead to Johnny Diao, and in control of this, Brady Holbrook was looking for a far pass towards Andrew Handelman. Now a chance in tight, looking to put it on goal. That puck might have crossed the goal line, but the player was sliding right into Ryan Graf, and so that one would not count even if it did cross the line.
Well, that was a good rush up ice. All starts with a big hit that Diao laid, and then he winds up being the guy who falls into the goaltender and slides into the crease. Be curious to see how this is ruled. Looks like at least one player headed to the box.
Yeah, that's Sawyer Howe once again. We just talked about him. He must be up to something with his usual antics, because I saw the linesman smiling the whole way as he was bringing him to the box.
And so the Diao went down. It was a hook that actually led to him going down. So that's a good call there, and obviously not going to get anywhere. You see a little bit of a punch thrown at the end of that play there by Davis Jones. So they actually have the box door open on the Virginia side. Nobody has gone to fill that spot yet, though.
Looks like we might be skating 5-on-4 here.
Yet the face-off would be coming outside the zone, curiously.
Wait, that's a great point, yeah. Not sure about that, but Virginia wins it regardless and enters cleanly up the right wing, so now they've established control. Looking to slide it D to Alexander McMillan. Walking the line here, finding a shooting lane. What a deflection in front. I think that's Zave Green who might have gotten a piece of it, and now McMillan back on it. Across it goes. This one is Haberl to the near side, loading up a shot. Deflected out of play off the McLean-Boyd block.
This is exactly why, by the way, for the major broadcasts and the NFL and the NHL, there's always a referee that they keep on call for moments like this to explain to guys like us, why is that faceoff coming outside the zone?
We need our rules expert.
Exactly. We need our Keith Jackson.
Oh, yes. Well, we're trying our best here, and Virginia doing the same on the power play, trying to get to number 7. We'll see if they can. A feed down low and a tight angle look there from Jack Myshod. Now at the far half wall, looking to hit up an option in the high slot with Haberl. This one just knocked out of the zone thanks to the Degli Umberto pressure. And regrouping here is Zave Green.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Alex McMillan looked like he had a real opportunity backdoor. Stick was tied up on the play by a Georgia Tech player.
As he was looking to receive that most recent pass, it just went a bit too far for him, and so Virginia forced to re-enter the zone. They'll leave it off with Max Lehman. Far side it goes. This one's Zave Green. Again, one of these Cavalier goal scorers here tonight. At the near flank, that's going to be Max Lehman. Cruising in the captain, that's Stoner. Now down low, getting it back to Lehman. Couple pump fakes there as he's dealing with some pressure from McLean Boyd. Plays it to the far side. Little turnover to Molnar as Molnar's going to go for a shorthanded bid. A great poke on the back check there from none other than McMillan, and it's Lehman with some speed. Lehman sends it to the front. Dorcas with the clear. Molnar once more, but that puck too far for him, and back on the tape of Ryan Cristiano.
Well, that'll just about do it for the power play. However, great back check effort there by McMillan. And I have decided we're going to call it the Alex algorithm or McMillan math. Much like the Randy ratio from way back when with the Minnesota Vikings, you just got to get Alex McMillan on the ice. Good things happen whenever he's out there.
Well, McMillan, as we talked about, 2 assists yesterday. He's a player out of Bethesda, Maryland. He's been all over this one tonight, has a goal himself and an assist as well. So showing up on the box score in both games played. That one deflected out of play in the Georgia Tech end.
Now here's another question I would ask an official, because we don't seem to have traditional delay of game calls in this league.
Correct.
I'm curious as to why he's signaling at all that was directed out, because it doesn't matter. Now I'm wondering if but that's something that did pop into my head. Since we don't have those delay of games, it doesn't actually matter if it's deflected or not.
Or maybe if he works other leagues, it might just be instinct. Who knows?
That's a possibility. A little bit of muscle memory there.
And now this really needs to be a feature across ACHA broadcasts. Braden King walking in. Golick looking to put it on goal. That's Bass sticking it aside. Again, the UVA goaltender did not start in yesterday's game. That was Manu Naik. But Bass has done tremendously here in game number 2 for this UVA postseason.
He stood tall when he needed to stand tall in the second period, and otherwise UVA's done a good job supporting him, bookending with good first and third periods.
Currently 17 saves made on 18 attempts. As Sawyer Howe was getting into it there, I believe with Davis Jones.
That's been brewing for a little bit.
And I think there's not much more to say here with Sawyer Howe heading to the box for the 3rd time this period. Or at least in the last 2.
Looks like they also got Diao as well. Davis Jones, a little bit surprisingly, did not get thrown to the box.
Yeah, interested, wondering what happened there with Diao and not Jones, but 4 aside regardless. 7:01 to go here in the final period of regulation time. This face-off looks like it will be to the right of Billy Bass. Of course, simultaneous penalties there. And so face-off coming up at the location of that.
Boy, we are set up for tomorrow. 2 brilliant championship games, assuming this score holds. Morning game between South Carolina and Tennessee, and South Carolina highly ranked, of course, in MD2. Tennessee, the number 1 seed in the Southeastern Conference. And then, of course, here in the ACC, it's sure looking like we're going to get the matchup everybody kind of wanted, 1v2.
Yep, South Carolina and Tennessee, both participants of the 2026 Savannah Hockey Classic. They were not able to match up with each other there, but they'll get their opportunity here tomorrow. Golick lost his stick with the prime opportunity. He is doing some nice work to stay in the play without it. Now for Georgia Tech, Ethan Molnar has done that a bunch this semester, and I guess it's rubbing off on his teammates. Phenomenal effort from Mr. Jack Golick there. Virginia cruising in here, looking for the tight angle shot. That one off the side of the goal. A backhand from Dylan Azaparty. One more time, the first goal scorer of the night for UVA.
You'll need to check with him if he played soccer at any point earlier growing up.
Well, spoken to him a bunch. He is an amazing friend of mine. Lacrosse player. I don't know about soccer. Check this out, and they score on the counterattack. That's Azzopardi with the first goal of the night, make it his second of the game, and there's lucky number 7 for UVA.
There's not really much more to say than that. That is, the speed of UVA has been evident all game. You pull 2 players off the ice, and any chance they get to counterattack, they're going to do it. And another east-west pass that leads to it. And mentioned it, it's tough for Graf. He is being asked to do a lot against east-west stuff. What is that the 4th east-west goal now of this game? He's played pretty well when he has been asked to keep it north-south, and when Georgia Tech has done that for him.
Of course, 2 goals to end off the first period off the rush. Another odd man rush finish for Virginia. I think I'm disappointed more than anything that goal came as I was telling my story. But yeah.
The goal stepped on your story.
Exactly. How could that be? Rowan Agarwal looking to take a shot. That one blocked in front. It's Sean Connolly sliding it across to Joshua Lee. Shot from the line, deflected by Chambliss just wide. Connolly back on it, looking for Chambliss. As Connolly looked to dig it up, it's Kim back the other way. Across the sheet it goes towards Zave Green, and right back with the defenseman here in Connor Coe. Now looking to enter the offensive zone, Zave Green will do so up the right wing here. Green with some pressure from a couple Jackets, sticking with it below the goal line, drops it off to the right point with Coe, takes a shot, blocked by Chambliss, the puck in his skates, and he's able to backhand it out. Now good work from Sean Connolly to collect, as Coe lays the body. That's going to be a penalty there, an interference call on Connor Coe. So for Georgia Tech, 4:31 to go, down 6. Think you're playing for pride more than anything else. It would be nice to finish it all off with one more goal here this season. Of course, Billy Bass gonna try to do his best to prevent that from happening. It's Dorcas here against Carlson for the draw. Molnar comes away with it. Now Sawyer Howe spinning to the near side. McLean Boyd taking a shot blocked in front. Golick looked to put it back on goal. To the left point it goes with Boyd. He'll look for a deflection in front with Golick. That went off the crossbar.
Brilliant clear at the end of it too, because that net was wide open. If anyone from Georgia Tech had been able to crash, they would have had that perfect second chance.
Just inches away for Jack Golick. Georgia Tech re-entering the zone here. Boyd shot through traffic, picked up by Molnar. Golick will end up with it below the goal line. On his backhand for Dorcas, a man in front in Molnar. Didn't connect, and so it's Howe. Far wing Dorcas looking to feed it in front. Boyd keeps it in. Some good pressure there. Poking that one out of the zone is Ryan Cristiano. Could be a shorthanded bid if he comes away with it. Gets tangled up with Boyd as Howe will join to lay the body, as does Hunter Carlson for UVA. Now Howe with 50 seconds remaining on the man advantage here. Top of the circle, looks to work around Jack Myshod. Golick lost control and back the other way, trying to clear it is Carlson. Jack Golick in the high slot, knocked off that puck, and a short-handed skate for Alexander McMillan, but a good poke from Agarwal. He'll stay with it, and a nice feed over to the far wing with Chong. A nice deke looking to work around Dorcas. UVA just more than happy to kill time off this penalty. 15 seconds remaining on the Georgia Tech power play. They'll look to continue to do just that here. Zach Keschner on the backhand. A hit from Degli Umberto, and a nice opportunity for UVA's Chong. A shot from that right side, denied by Graf, and a face-off coming up to his left.
That was a really smooth pass, and if not for the efforts of Rowan Agarwal at the end of that play, would have been another spot where UVA skater, essentially, and I'm going to say skater because it's been defensemen, it's been forwards, but would have been unabated towards the goaltender.
100%, and regardless of who it is, you don't want that for Georgia Tech. 2:27 left in the third. A slap shot from the right point there. That was Davis Jones. Back the other way goes Greg Steckel, and a little turnover here. Trying to weave through the defense was Azzopardi. Graf sticks it to the near corner. That's Miller trying to bank it towards Eli Rubin. That one batted down by a high stick, but Tech the first to touch that puck, and so we'll play on. Up ahead, Azzopardi on it, has a streaking Holbrook. Azzopardi blocker side, just wide. Now Braden King off to the races. Just had his first collegiate goal just a couple weeks ago in an ACC game against Duke. Azzopardi down low, give and go, was looking to set up the Azzopardi hat trick. That one just a bit behind him.
And no harm there. I think the better play would have been to shoot there, but you know that the guy on the ice with you has a hat trick attempt. You're going to try and set him up.
100%, especially up large. Lee will cruise himself to safety, put back into the far corner. Greg Steckel there looking for Andrew Zhang. Zhang, D-to-D feed with Steckel, as Steckel will enter the offensive zone. I say D-to-D, Greg Steckel, a defenseman throughout the entirety of the fall semester. Look at this rebound opportunity. Steckel now playing as forward here in the spring. His first year at Georgia Tech, a transfer out of UGA. Joshua Stoner up ahead as Virginia looking to end this one positively, up 7-1 with 40 seconds to go. Zhang will bat it down, and a huge hit by the captain, A.J. Degliumberto. The rebound off the side of the goal there as the net comes off its moorings. Joshua Stoner with that opportunity, and now I think that's Zach Keschner getting involved with Joshua Stoner.
They're having a hard time getting him under control.
And wow, he was extremely heated, Zach Keschner. Meanwhile, of course, up large, the UVA captain, Joshua Stoner, looks pretty happy on his way to the sin bin.
Yeah, that won't be a long 28 seconds for him.
No. We can see how this all unfolded. It started with this huge hit from A.J. Degliumberto right at open ice on Zave Green.
And then it spiraled from there.
It spiraled from there.
I'm not sure what the holdup is here. Been trying to get an ear for what they're saying. Kyle Sinat ultimately pulls a couple of players back, and
you can see there on the Georgia Tech bench, Jack Golick comforting. One more goal for UVA, Johnny Diao. I gotta stop giving these stories, man. Johnny Diao cashes in for Virginia. It's an 8 spot for the Cavaliers. And what a way to head to the championship game tomorrow.
Back-to-back 8 spots for Virginia.
Yesterday, 8-0 on Charlotte. It doesn't get much better than these performances. 8-1 yesterday. One last rush for UVA and a phenomenal windmill deke. Great save by Graf. This one devolving out of control with 0.1 left on the clock. I'm sure they're just going to kill that off. But for Georgia Tech, before we end this one, as I was saying, you saw Jack Golick with his arm around Ethan Molnar, one of the seniors here for Tech. They had 5 on the roster here this season. And of course, for any team, always a tough end to your season when you have to say goodbye to your senior players. Time has expired here. Number 2, Virginia punches their ticket to the ACC championship game against St. Joseph's.
The Elite Division is going to have the 1 and the 2 seed all year long. This is what it's been building toward. You know, you talk about St. Joseph's. We just saw them before this game and thought that, man, they have a bit of a redemption arc as they have been knocked out early more times than they care to count. They'll be highly motivated coming into this one, but it's going to be hard to bet against this UVA team. They have put together probably the best 6 periods of hockey of anybody here in Winston-Salem this weekend.
A 16-1 plus 15 goal differential through 2 games. And that's pretty close to St. Joseph's, who won 16-1 in game number 1. So really impressive from the Cavaliers. We cannot wait for these championship games tomorrow. As we talked about, it all kicks off with the SEC at 11 a.m. It'll be the South Carolina Gamecocks taking on the Tennessee Ice Vols. And then in the ACC, make it UVA taking on St. Joseph's.
You can take a break if needed, since we might be waiting a little while for post-game.
Well, coverage of this one not over quite yet. We'll try to get a post-game interview or 2 for UVA. But for now, we'll throw it to a quick break. Virginia, the 8-1 victory over Georgia Tech.
ACCHL Elite Defenseman of the Year. Josh Stoner is with us, and 6 points in 2 games, 16 goals for UVA to just 1 allowed. And we mentioned it, you got a very talented blue line out there, Josh. You guys seem to play off each other really, really well. Take us a little bit what it's like in that room with those guys playing on defense.
Absolutely. We got a lot of offensive defensemen, so we've been able to do a great job just getting up into the rush, getting shots on net, and you're seeing that completely throughout the lineup chart there. So we did a great job today. All the defensemen getting involved and getting pucks on net, and the D got a bunch of goals today, so it was great to see.
We noticed. We certainly noticed that. I'm curious, how do you think that changes things for opponents who know that you guys are able to activate and join the rush like that?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely got to play a lot smarter. They got to be aware of all of our mobile defensemen, so absolutely.
And what's the biggest thing you're scouting for tomorrow? I don't know if you were able to see the earlier game and the victory for St. Joseph's, who you guys will be taking on tomorrow in the later game here. What do you know about them, and what are you looking forward to for tomorrow?
Yeah, we know they're a fast team. They obviously put up a lot of goals against App State, and they did a good job against Elon today. So we're going to be looking more at what they've done over the past few days tonight and tomorrow morning, and we'll be ready for them.
Very good, Josh. Go enjoy a post-game meal, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
That is Josh Stoner, and we'll step aside, hoping to talk with Coach Kyle Sinat coming up. Virginia head coach Kyle Sinat is with us now, victorious in the semifinal. Put up an 8th spot again, back-to-back days, and now we'll walk into a classic 1 versus 2 showdown in this tournament, having put up nearly as many goals, or at least as good of a goal differential as your opponents, which is kind of shocking to say. They won a game 16-1 in this tournament. Coach, great performance in that third period. I know you mentioned it. You wanted some things cleaned up after the second. Looked much better in the third.
Yeah, I think we did a good job of responding that period and refocused on some of the key components that we've talked about throughout the game. So the boys did a good job of finishing up in the third.
I know you have a lot of offensive defensemen. Your captain mentioned it, that you have a lot of guys who like to activate. Stoner, obviously, an outstanding game for him. Another 3-point game, defenseman of the year. Just talk about what he means to this team.
He encompasses the entirety of our team. The work ethic that he has is unmatched, and that's the reason why he has a letter. And he just shows up every day to be a better teammate, to improve his game, and he is the definition of a professional. So I have full faith in him on the leadership into tomorrow's game as well.
Can you talk a little bit about Billy Bass and the game that he had? And certainly, I don't know where you're at on the first goal or the only goal that he allowed. But he had some really strong moments after that, and he needed to be good for you guys in the second period.
He did. He really kept everybody at bay when we had some breakdowns in the second period and stood on his head. So he's been consistent the entire season, and proud of the work that he put in tonight.
Coach, congratulations. Get a good night's sleep, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good rest of your night.
Thank you. So, big win for Virginia.
Absolutely setting up a phenomenal ACC championship game. In terms of the rankings, whoever made the rankings could not have been more spot on. Number 1 St. Joseph's taking on number 2 Virginia here on AAU Plus at 2 p.m. Eastern. Right before that at 11 a.m., it's the SEC Championship with number 1 Tennessee taking on the team that knocked off number 2 themselves, this number 4 South Carolina Gamecocks. That'll conclude tonight's coverage of ACC hockey. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm Sterling Caligeris. Been broadcasting here with Alex Wiederspiel. Thank you so much for joining us here. And tune in for a remarkable championship Sunday tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.